I am Pamela D Wilson, caregiving expert, advocate, and speaker. I'm your host. I'm your educator for this program. We are talking about how to keep elderly parents at home. And in this module specifically, we're talking about care costs, but also how to work with professionals who can help you develop a care plan. And also, we're going to look at other options to pay for care outside of normal Social Security savings, pension savings, and investments that you might have. As always, we start off with housekeeping. I use the term elderly parent or elderly parents. You can substitute that term with the person for whom you care for. Do print out the module outline, the slide handout, so that you can follow along with me on the slides and make some notes. So the objectives of planning to pay for care. By the end, you should be able to identify 3 expert specialties to consult when developing a plan to pay for care. You will be able to review additional methods to pay for care outside of the traditional ones we talked about, and verify next steps with elderly parents so that you have agreement to create a financial plan for care. In section 2 of this module, I briefly talked about services provided by care managers who also may be a professional fiduciary. The best place to locate an individual with this specialty is the National Guardianship Association. Those are the 3 letters that you see after the word care manager. I've been a member of that organization for more than 10 years. They have wonderful standards, wonderful guidelines for care managers who choose to follow them. Care management and professional fiduciary work is really a specialty. People in these organizations can help you plan for costs. They can also help you manage the day-to-day care of elderly parents. And if the need comes up, they can serve as that medical or financial power of attorney, guardian, or conservator. And they have a breadth of experiences. As I mentioned, when I was a care manager, I took care of thousands of clients, worked with hundreds of assisted living locations, different health issues, different doctors, different providers. There really is a benefit to that. So in the other 2 areas of expertise are money and law. The financial advisors have designations also. So a financial advisor is CPA, and you'll see all these letters after their names here that I will take you through. Your parent, though, may already have a CPA that they use or a current financial advisor. And if they do, you want to start with those people. But you want to make sure, if you are not, that you understand what you're looking for in a financial advisor. There's 2 different ones, and this may be more for yourself than your elderly parents, but there are fee-only advisors and other advisors. Fee-only financial advisors or planners, they have a fiduciary responsibility to act in the client's best interest. They don't take fees or money based on selling and buying products, which means they don't have this conflict of interest to want to make you buy a particular product or make you sell a particular product because they make more money. Their fees are based on the total amount of money in the account. So if you think about it, they make more money if your account goes up, if it increases in value. The other financial advisors make money based on commissions for trades or selling you insurance products or mutual funds. So you want to know the difference between both of them. It is a personal choice. So the designations behind this name, financial advisor and CPA, and you can write these down, but FPA is Financial Planning Association. NAIFA, N-A-I-F-A, is the National Association of Insurance and Financial Advisors. NAPFA, the National Association of Personal Financial Advisors. And FSP, the Society of Financial Service Professionals. On the subject of estate planning, we've talked about this. Elder law, estate planning, or probate attorney with these specialties. Their designations are NAELA, N-A-E-L-A, the National Association of Elder Law Attorney, or CELA, Certified Elder Law Attorney. Not a lot of estate planning, elder law, and probate attorneys have these designations. If you can find somebody with these designations, I highly recommend using them. This slide really is a reminder. If you and your parents haven't completed estate planning documents, don't wait. Having a medical and a financial advocate appointed is important to make sure that care is provided, that money is managed responsibly, and that you have that backup plan. If you remember, we talked about my client Martha, who her husband was passing away within 2 weeks. They had no one designated, no one to serve. I came through them through Adult Protective Services and was appointed Martha's guardian. How do financial advisors and CPAs help you? When I was the financial power of attorney for my clients, I used both CPAs and financial advisors. Because of my experience in the care industry, I could project costs, I could make financial budgets, I could submit them to the court, to family members, but I am not an expert on tax planning or on the consequences of distributing funds. Distributing funds means when you take that money out of retirement and investment accounts and how it affects your parents' tax return. For many of us who are younger, we are working toward accumulating. We're saving, we're putting money into accounts. For our elderly parents, if we are their financial power of attorney or conservator, we have a legal responsibility to spend money wisely and to minimize tax consequences. That's the reason that I worked with a financial advisor and a CPA. I created the annual financial budget. I gave it to them. They worked together to decide how to minimize taxes. Because you want to realize that if your parents have investments beyond Social Security and a pension, and they have a financial advisor, that financial advisor may alone not be an expert on taxes. They may want to consult with your CPA. And I do recommend, if you are that financial power of attorney or conservator, meet with the financial advisor, include your elderly parents, talk about a strategy to continue to manage the money, and then distribute the money when you need it. Make sure that the CPA is involved so that you don't have any unpleasant tax surprises. Long-term care insurance, this is another voluntary benefit that sometimes isn't talked about enough, and it has changed over the years. If your elderly parents purchased a long-term care insurance plan, it could be straight long-term care insurance, it could be life insurance with a long-term care rider, or they have other types of hybrid financial products that pay for care costs. A financial advisor or an insurance advisor normally sells these products. And again, these are options to preserve money when care is needed. In my opinion, these plans should be used before anybody starts using their personal investments, before you start taking money out of retirement accounts, provided that you qualify. So there are qualifications of needing help with activities of daily living or having memory loss and needing care. And that involves going through the claim process with the long-term care insurance companies. You don't want to be in a situation where your clients wait or your parents wait to use these plans and they pass away and they've never used the plan and they put money in all those years. These plans, by the time someone uses them, are usually worth several $100,000. If you buy a plan when you're young in your 20s or 30s, by the time you need it, it could be worth $1 million. I highly recommend the plans if you can afford them because they pay for in-home care, care managers, daycare, home modifications, assisted living, nursing home care. Now, it does depend on the plan. You have to really look into these and understand what your benefits are. The payments from these plans are usually tax-free because you paid into them with after-tax dollars. If you are at a company who offers long-term care insurance, I really highly suggest that you look into this and look into the costs. Many companies will allow you to buy a plan for yourself as the child, for a spouse, and sometimes you can include family members. Imagine the benefit to you and an elderly parent if you could get a plan that pays for thousands of dollars of care every year. The plans are voluntary, though. This is the challenge. if your parent already has Alzheimer's, you cannot get a long-term care insurance plan. These plans, the idea is to purchase them when you are relatively healthy. I purchased mine about 15 years ago now, and got a really great premium, which was no more than $1,200 a year. It has gone up over the years. It's $1,500 a year. How many of us pay that much for our car insurance or for something else that we spend? You know, it's about $100 a month, give or take a little bit more. It will provide care for me when I need it. The other benefit of this is, as we talked about, the fact that women, surviving spouses who are caregivers, and women who have children, take time out of the workforce, take time out to care for elderly parents and care for spouses, and the spouse passes away, they have no money to pay for their care. My opinion, my belief is that married couples should talk about this, and the family should buy a long-term care insurance policy for the wife who is going to be the caregiver. They should also set aside investments for the wife who is going to be the caregiver, because the statistics show that women who take time out of the workforce lose over $1 million between Social Security benefits, Medicare benefits, retirement benefits, saving money. That is substantial. Why should women who provide the care not have care at the end of their lives? That is my soapbox statement. Women, talk to your husbands, talk to your partners, plan for this. Do not let this go by the wayside. It is so important for your long-term health and your long-term well-being. VA Aid and Attendance. This is a program for elderly parents with wartime service. Your mom or dad might actually qualify for this program through the VA. It can pay for in-home care costs and care community costs. And I won't go into the program in detail. It's a great program. There is a Caring Generation podcast that talks about aid and attendance. It is called Cost of Caring for Elderly Parents. I also do talk more about general care costs, but there's information on there about the aid and attendance program, how it works, what it pays for. You can also call your local VA office and ask to speak to a VA service advisor or a program advisor about the program. It does require income thresholds, saving thresholds, healthcare needs. I've helped several of my clients apply for that program. It can also take months to be approved, so you don't want to wait until the last minute. Reverse mortgages. These are another program to help pay for care costs at home. You might have seen there's a commercial on television by, I think it's Tom Selleck, who is Magna PI, who's talking about this. Reverse mortgages are not a scam, but you want to make sure you understand how they work. I'm not a reverse mortgage expert. My clients have used them. They have benefited from them. Most states require that you take a mandatory class to make sure that you understand how the program works, because it can provide money from the equity of the home to pay for care and other costs. My only caution on this is a time frame. You want to make sure that your elderly parent doesn't need a lot of care right away so that they have to risk leaving the home within a year or 2 years. The reason is that you pay some substantial upfront fees. And if your parent has to move from that home, you're not getting the money that you would have expected out of the product. And when the parent leaves the home, there are usually provisions in the agreement that the home has to be sold within a certain time period to pay back any money that you took out of the reverse mortgage. So that's how it works. Basically, you stop your mortgage payments. You can also take money out, and then at the time that you move out of the home, the sale of the home pays back that loan. And you can search the internet, just look for reverse mortgage specialists. Medicaid, we've talked about this, but we'll do a refresher. It is a state Medicaid program. You want to contact your county human services department to request information. If they are not the administrator of the program, they can get you in contact with the agency that administers the program. It is for low-income individuals, less than $2,500 a month in income at this point, but that changes every year. You have to qualify financially and physically. Medicare pays for in-home care through a program called HCBS. and long-term care in nursing homes. There are also other programs that assist with medication copays, and this is in reference to the elderly. There are Medicaid programs for the younger, disabled people, blind waivers, all of that. This is specifically, we're talking about for elder care. Applications do require very thorough financial and health information. If you don't do them right, they can sit on somebody's desk. They can take months to be processed. Do not wait until the last minute to apply for any of these programs, to look at these programs. As I talked, in the best case scenario, you are looking at all of this and having discussions before care is needed. When care is provided, you want to continually talk about financial needs. And if you plan 3 to 5 years ahead, you can look at reverse mortgages. You can look at VA aid and attendance if your parent applies. You can look at Medicaid programs. There are also programs where you can take advantage of selling life insurance products. That's a personal choice, but there are many choices to pay for care, but do not wait until the last minute. I'm Pamela D Wilson, caregiving expert, advocate, and speaker. Thank you so much again for being with me. I hope this program was valuable. Your task is to complete a financial plan, to talk to your elderly parents about planning, and make sure that you have all the steps in place for the increasing care need costs of your elderly parents. I will see you in another webinar.